Hey everyone, we're going to do a comparison between Pilates and yoga today. You're going to need a little bit of equipment here. If you have a chair or something you can lean over, that's always good for, or you could just use your own body, but I'll show you what we're going to do with that. A large workout ball and a dumbbell or a weight of some sort that you can use to hold against your chest for this exercise that we're going to do. So grab those pieces of equipment or things nearby, like your chair and your ball and your weight and your mat, and I'll catch you in just a second. Today's workout is going to be a comparison between yoga and Pilates and weight loss and strength, and which one is best for you. So really, there are a variety of answers. I've given different answers on different topics, and the reason for the variation in the answers is because it really depends on the teacher and what kind of a workout you're getting into. In general, for yoga, you're going to be slowing it down, but you're building a lot of strength in your legs and your muscles and your arms when you're doing these weight-bearing exercises on the arms or balancing exercises. You know, for example, you're building strength in your legs. If you're looking for more of the weight loss, you're going to increase your reps, so you're going to add a little bit more cardio into your workout, and maybe do a longer workout. So it's really going to depend, but I'm going to give you a comparison between some of the similar Pilates and yoga exercises and show you how you could make it more of a weight loss or strength training exercise. So the first one we're going to start out with is, let's take our ball here. So for example, if you were going to do in yoga, you're doing your goddess squat. So you have your wide legs here and you're in your goddess position. So your booty is not sticking back. You are sitting straight up. Side view to that is you're flattened out here. And then you're just lowering and lifting. So you are building strength in your hips and all over your legs, and also strengthening your posture with this one. So the yoga version of that muscular exercise, you can do it slowly. You can hold the pose. Holding it is just going to challenge your balance. And then if you're doing like a Pilates version of it, where you're taking the ball and isolating that muscle. So for example, you're getting into almost the same position with a single leg version and then pulling it in. You are getting a little more of the cardio in here because you're rolling the ball in and out with your leg, squeezing in here. So you might be toning up your muscles a little bit more, adding in some more reps, and the breathing. So you're getting into this more of the cardio version of this similar exercise. Let's balance out both sides. Do the other leg. So again, you're placing your foot on top of the large ball and you're doing this squatting exercise. Now, in Pilates, in the studio, you would do this on the chair. So we are modifying because we don't have that equipment. I have one in my bedroom, but if you don't have that equipment, you do a modification, and that would be like this, where you're working and targeting the inner thighs and the hips. Okay, so that's a comparison of that specific exercise. Oh goodness, and take a breath because you're gonna need it. So for yoga, you do a downward facing dog. That's getting into a deep hamstring and calf muscle stretch. And you're gonna hold this down dog for 5 breaths. Here you're getting your flexibility by doing these stretches. You are strengthening the legs and the upper body because you're staying in this pose for a long time and you're doing it often in a yoga workout. So you're building your upper body strength and your leg strength, and then working on your mindful breathing. Now, in contrast, a Pilates version of a hamstring or a deep bend stretch like that, you can add in a weight. Okay, So you're gonna take your dumbbell, press it up against your chest, or take a circular weight or anything you have that is weighted, and bring your hips all the way up to the back of your chair or sofa. So to resemble a downward facing dog, you can separate your feet just a little bit, and you are doing this leaning, weighted stretch. And you're getting the strength from the dumbbell. You're strengthening your back muscles. So it is similar, but working your body in a different way, the Pilates version versus the yoga version of a stretch like this. All right. And then we're going to release the dumbbell. We're going to use the dumbbell again. I think we're going to see how it goes. Okay, so getting back to the yoga goddess squat. So in a goddess squat in yoga, when you're just standing there, you're building the strength in your legs. Now, if you want the more cardio version of that, so goddess squat, again, here is the goddess squat right here. I didn't show you the front view of this, hold on, side step here. The standing forward version of this is taking your weight and being careful as low as you can go, but I would recommend just doing like a 90 degree, and then lift up. And you're gonna feel that strength. No bending in the back. Your back is flat. So that is another view. Go back to the goddess squat. Okay, so your goddess squat, more of a static stretch. You can deepen it, so then you're getting that flexibility in your hips and working your quads. But if you want the cardio version of that, you're gonna pick up a knee and bring it to the opposite elbow. So you're gonna come up, step down, come up, step down. This would get more into the Pilates and the core version. And then you are also doing some cardio here. You don't have to go fast. Just incorporate that mindful breathing. Let's do the other side. And squat, pick it up, squat, up, squat, up, and squat. One more. Whew. So we are just doing little comparisons. In yoga also, you have your Skandasana stretch, which also resembles the ball, the pull-in with the ball. So again, if you wanted another variation of the yoga version or the Pilates version of this pull-in exercise that you do similar on the chair, yoga is the Skandasana stretch. So I'm just comparing these exercises. So yoga, maybe less of the cardio because sometimes you're just holding the poses, so you're getting strength, you're training your lungs to breathe and coordinate that breath with your movement, but you're getting the strength and the flexibility. And in Pilates, you can add that cardio element, which helps you with the weight loss, if that is your goal. All right, so let me see what else I have for comparison. Okay, plank exercise. In yoga, you're doing plank and chaturanga push-ups. So the yoga version, you're either knees, chest, chin to the floor like this. So you're doing a lot of these lowering and lifting, or you can have your feet to the floor or pick your knees up. So these are your chaturanga push-ups. In Pilates, if you want to really add in a strength element, besides using your own body weight, you're going to separate your feet out and bring a heavy weight and drag it from the left to the right. Make sure you have some space to move, but you're not moving your body. I'm going to show you the front side view. Okay, so you're standing like this. This is your yoga has a plank, and Pilates also has a plank. You've got your heavy dumbbell. You're going to walk this dumbbell to the outside of your your hands. Do not move your body. Just move the arm. Woo. And you could see this is a 15-pound dumbbell. So I am building up my core strength, cardio, and also stabilization of the core. So a really good workout. If you want to add in a couple of these, mix it up just a little bit. Let's do some crescent lunges versus a stepping back version of the lunge. So yoga, you're at the front of your mat. You step back into your crescent lunge. Many variations of the lunge. Arms can be swept, and in yoga you can do this sweeping motion, or you can make it static where you hold still. Let's do the other leg. Stepping back and then sweeping the arms with your mindful breathing. If you want more of the cardio, which will bring on some of the calorie burning and weight loss, the Pilates version, stepping down and alternating. And then you can even have your knee go all the way to the floor, or the same distance you would if you were in the crescent lunge yoga style. So keep your balance. So we're just doing that. So I'm getting winded just talking about it, but that's to benefit the cardio. And then you can slow yourself down by mindfully breathing. Arms up, down, up, and down. Okay, so we've covered a few things. We're gonna get down on the ground. So we're gonna get into a bird dog on our quadrupeds here. So bird dog, yoga exercise. You're stabilizing your core. You're reaching your opposite arm and your leg out. So this is a great lengthening and strengthening stretch. This is also a Pilates exercise. Woo. But if you want to add in an abdominal crunch to this and make it more of a kind of like a cardio and toning or strengthening move, you're getting into your bird dog and then bending the elbow to meet the knee. And then you can go a little bit faster while you are balancing and crunching your body in so you feel that core activation. All right, let's do the other side to balance ourselves out. This is more of a pumping up and toning up. And 9 and 10. And then we can come into our camel or thigh stretch. So camel stretch is the yoga version, and then the thigh stretch would be the Pilates version, but same positioning of the body. You just can add in some factors to make it more cardio or strength. So for camel, if you're getting into more of the yoga static pose where you're just holding still, you're gonna reach for your heels or for your hips and look back, mindfully breathe into this pose. So the hands to the heels and lift your chest. Open up your chest and heart and hang out here for a few breaths. Now you've seen me in one of my videos where I have tried to reach my head all the way back. That is a yoga pose. If you're doing a Pilates version, stick that ball between your heels and you can bounce into it. So you're doing a little bit more movement here, but also working on your quad strength and flexibility. You can break it up into a single arm. I feel that my abs are also working here, but this added bouncing movement, you can take away the ball too, If you don't want the ball, if you think you can do it without the ball, you can balance on your knees. You can take a weight, pull it down to mimic the Pilates pull down bar thigh stretch that you do on top of the Cadillac. So the front view of that is a lean back using the weight. I've got a very heavy weight here, but if you wanted to use a lighter weight, this is way too heavy when you're holding your arms out at that position. But you can add in the weight because in the studio, you have this spring-loaded pull-down bar that you're gonna use. All right, we've got one more to give you a nice comparison of exercises from a standing position and from a supine or seated position. So we are going to get into a bridge. Again, the comparison in the bridge exercise is yoga. You're pushing the hips up. You're going to clasp your hands together underneath you. And you're going to hold here for a few breaths. Woo, okay. And to get into a more active version of this, you're going to squeeze the glutes and you're going to push up with the hips. So then it becomes this more of a cardio targeting bridge exercise, Pilates version. And again, it's the pace of the instructor or the class that you're in. And then you could do a single leg version of this where you're pushing up and down and you're targeting a single glute. Let's switch it out and lower and lift. Woo, and then set your body down, roll like a ball to get up. Now come a little bit closer. So I think you got a good comparison between the two and which one is gonna be best if you're looking for weight loss or strength or both. Of course, you can do your own version of these workouts or just add in a few more reps or pulses or add in a dumbbell or a Pilates ball. And then you got the benefits of both worlds here and hopefully targeting your goals. So thank you for joining me for this little lesson and I'll catch up soon. Bye.